In this latest chapter of Thom Rainer's book called I Will, he gets to the purpose of the church. The chapter is called I Will Go. His opening story is about a church that declined in attendance from 450 during its growth years down to 360 over the time frame of about 30 years. That's about one person per month over 30 years. It doesn't seem like much and it's hardly noticeable. And we think, well, besides, there's still good numbers of people gathering in the building on Sunday morning. It was obvious that when the new community grew, the church grew as well. Members and leaders, they didn't need any intentional outreach or evangelism. It's like people know we're here, the doors are open, and people from the neighborhood, they just came, at least for a while. Rainer mentions that the church in his book never developed the DNA of going. In those early days, they didn't need to reach out to the community, and eventually they developed a y'all come attitude. Over the years, the members instead developed an inward focus. They focused on their own comforts and their own needs, and the decline was described in the book as slow, steady erosion. He has seen this scenario all too many times. The church will eventually close its doors unless something drastic is done to prevent it. Then Rainer cuts to the quick. He says that this story is the story about us. So this story is not about a church, it's about you and me. The church in this story was once filled with members who made the decision to let their church be all about them. Few people invited others to church, and fewer people even shared the gospel with others in the community. Churches that are in decline they're there due to a collective result of individuals who have decided not to go. Rainer says that churches like this have become a religious country club rather than an obedient Great Commission congregation. The Great Commission in Matthew 28 is often cited as our marching orders, but we sometimes forget that the Great Commission is also found in Acts 1:8, that we will be witnesses for Jesus in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and the ends of the earth. Yes, it appears that we need to be all about our own community first. When I was a candidate consultant with the International Mission Board's Journeyman Program, I would often challenge missionary wannabes that going overseas will not turn you into a missionary. The point was, if they were not witnessing in their Jerusalem, that they will not be an effective witness to the ends of the earth when I send them overseas. While we love international missions and seeing people come to faith in Jesus Christ, our own community can be one of the most neglected parts of our mission field. What is a significant reason for believers to not share their faith? Now, Rainer tells us that many in the church don't really believe other people need the gospel. They reason that people know about the gospel and they simply choose to reject it, which may or may not be entirely true. I think that few people have had the gospel carefully explained to them through a relationship. And there is so much false Hollywood Christianity out there that people have embraced. The point is that many churches in America give only lip service to the doctrine of salvation, because we have no sense of urgency to go and to proclaim the gospel. I believe that we'll never develop necessary urgency until we realize that there is salvation in no other name than Jesus and His resurrection. When we believe that Jesus is the only way to salvation, we change from an inward focus to an outward focus, and we change with urgency. In our local church terms, we begin to embrace an on mission with God lifestyle, moving from member to minister to living on mission and living on purpose with God. Thom Rainer brings up several excuses that church members use for not witnessing, so be sure to read those in chapter 5. In Acts chapter 4, verses 19 and 20, the early disciples were unable to stop speaking about the things that they had seen and they have heard. Does that describe you? So, in practical terms, Pray for opportunities to put in a good word for Jesus. Invite neighbors and co-workers to church. Get prepared to speak so that when the Holy Spirit brings that opportunity, you're ready. The end of this chapter has a great statement. Satan's greatest tactic is to convince Christians that they can be comfortably silent. It is a sin to be silent when we are commanded to speak. Great quote. One person can make a difference. Will you discuss this topic with your small group? How can we encourage evangelism and practice evangelism as a group? How can we get prepared to be an effective witness when the Holy Spirit brings an opportunity? When a few people make this commitment to say, I will go, we can start a movement that will impact the lostness and the darkness all around us. That's what this series is all about. That's what this week is all about. Thank you for watching this video challenge and discussing these points in your small group.